So, who do we have with us today?
Grace.
Grace, good. So, what brought you to Dr. Johnson's office?
Well, years ago, I had read about exercise with oxygen, and this was the only place in the whole area. I guess the closest other place was someplace in Chicago or something that you offered that kind of thing. And so when I looked to see where you were located at that time, I thought, well, that's kind of a long ways to go. And so I kept putting it off, but it kept popping back in my mind. And I finally called and made an appointment to come. Well, at the time I was having a problem with my hip and knee, and so I thought, well, maybe he can help me with that too. But anyway, that's why I first came, was because you offered something that I couldn't find anyplace else, and as it turned out, it was relatively close considering all the options. So
Yeah, it's a lot closer than Chicago.
oh yes, it only takes 45 minutes for me to drive here.
Yeah. So, I understand that you've been involved with a healthy lifestyle for quite a long time, right?
Yes. In fact, way back, I started making sure that I ate the right foods, and I even try very hard to eat organic. Now, at one point, of course, years ago, I thought, well, I don't think there's much difference, but there is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I also heard from someone that you know that you might be having a birthday coming up.
Well, I've stopped having birthdays.
So, but you're staying very active through your, you retired a few years ago, right? You were
Yes,
you were teaching.
it was. Well, I didn't I only taught a few years after I graduated from college, and then the kids came along, and I decided, well, I don't want somebody else bringing them up. I'm going to do it myself.
Good for you. Yeah, they turned out great. I know how they take care of you. That's great when you need help, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what we're doing here at the office, you're using a couple different tools. We're using our total brain and body O2 system, where you're using the recumbent bike, and then you're hooked to the TBB O2 system, and we go with really a large amount of 95% oxygen that you're breathing in through like a CPAP mask, and then the computer changes it based on your pulse and some other parameters to a lower oxygen level, and then back and forth like that. And then you end up doing exercise with oxygen therapy in another way on our whole body advanced vibration exercise platform.
Okay.
So, and then you end up, how long do you typically do these exercises here?
I guess since I do the O2 first, I do that for 15 minutes, and so it's probably closer to 45 minutes that I spend on the wave.
Okay, very good. So about an hour total.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I know when we come walking by and we see you doing planks on that thing, and which we have a few photos of you doing different exercises on there. We snuck some photos.
I know.
Uh-huh. So, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind putting them like off to the side. When we do our interview, there's a little blank area that I can put off to the side and show some of those, and people can see what kinds of things that you're doing. So, and what benefits are you receiving from it?
Well, for one thing, it does help with strengthening my muscles, and I know I can still do a lot of things that I'm sure I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And while doing them on the wave, it provides a certain stimulation, or I don't know what you'd call it, but anyway, so I could do things that I don't wouldn't be able to hold that long without that.
Yeah, the nice thing about the vibration platform is it's working what are called your slow twitch muscle fibers and your fast twitch muscle fibers, simultaneously. And you get a much better exercise that way, so you get less fatigue. So that's why you can hold it longer, because you're doing both types of muscle fibers simultaneously.
Because I know, well, even like the plank, maybe I wouldn't be able to hold it as long as I can.
Yeah, that's very good. And have you had any bone density scans lately at all, just to see if it's changed that at all? I'm just curious. Okay, because we have had other people do it, and they've increased bone density, which is well known to do. So the vibration exercise is known to increase bone density.
Well, and I guess that's one reason that I haven't worried about having a bone density test.
Yeah.
Is because I feel that I'm doing the things that I need to do to keep it.
Very cool. So how do you think it's doing for your energy? Is it doing anything that way, or your sleep?
Well, it's hard to say. I've been doing it so long that I don't know. But
that's true. It's been a few years, hasn't it, that you've been coming here?
Well, I started in about November of, must have been 2011.
Okay, so this is 2020. So that's a few
9 years.
Yeah, very good. So, do you have any other things that you wanted to share about your services that you received here? Is there anything else that's unique or particularly exciting?
One thing I'd like to say is that you just amaze me with the amount of knowledge you have in so many areas. It just and you share it very well.
No, thank you.
And well, the wave has certainly kept me stronger, because I'm sure that I wouldn't be able to lift and do the things that I can do without that.
I'd love for you to share that one story that you told me. It made us all chuckle when you went to the grocery store, and the gentleman at the grocery store asked if you needed to have help to take the groceries to your car. And I think you said that you didn't, and you put them all in your arms, and you walked out to the car, and he brought you a flower pot because he would. Remember that?
Yes. Well, he brought me a flower to take home, and I don't know why, but
I think he was like us. He was impressed with you. That we always say we want to be like Grace when we grow up.
You don't have to grow up very far.
Well, thanks. I'm happy that you're getting the benefits from these procedures, and glad that you are also taking the time to share it with some folks out there that might take a look at our YouTube channel.
Anybody that doesn't try it certainly is missing a lot, because I really think it just makes so much difference, because a lot of people after a few years, as you get older, seem to pre-program how they're supposed to look and feel at that age, and you don't have to. You can. I've decided I'm not any age.
There you go.
I'm just gonna be.
Just gonna be. That's good. It's kind of like reminds me of Jack LaLanne, right? So he was the same way. He said, I can exercise and stay active, and he did all kinds of things.
Well, I guess now that I think of it, that's about the time that I started exercising, is way back when my kids were little, and I'd turn on Jack LaLanne and do the exercises with him. So
awesome. Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but he is a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And his daughter also. So some people go, I didn't know that. So I always like to interject that. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, you're welcome.